Okay, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to the explainer that is literally your insider's cheat code to beating the daunting corporate interview game. We're pulling back the curtain today on a super fascinating source, a totally candid breakdown straight from a former HR professional, somebody who knows exactly how the system is rigged. You know, if you've ever felt like corporate interviews are just this mysterious, impossible maze, well, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to decode the secret language of recruiters and hiring managers, and we're going to transform you from a nervous applicant into a highly strategic player ready to dominate.
To do this, we're breaking this corporate interview gauntlet down into 5 distinct levels: decoding the HR round, mastering soft skills, surviving the technical gauntlet, winning the salary negotiation, and finally, those essential interview prep rules.
Think of this timeline as your personal roadmap. We move from the relatively low-stakes introductions during that initial HR screening, push through the behavioral and situational tests, survive the high-pressure tech and managerial rounds, and then we finally arrive at the highest-stakes dance of them all: salary negotiation. Keep this bird's-eye view in the back of your mind as we tackle each stage.
All right, let's jump into level 1, decoding the HR round. This is all about culture and ethics.
Now, a totally crucial concept to wrap your head around here is sugarcoating. The source explicitly advises that you must sugarcoat your answers. But hey, let's be crystal clear. This does not mean lying. No way. It just means strategically presenting your experiences to perfectly align with what the company actually wants to hear. You see, HR is actively looking for team synergy. So say you coordinated a college fest. You frame that as conflict resolution and leadership. You're essentially crafting a narrative that proves without a doubt that you belong in their environment.
And here is where a massive disconnect happens for most candidates. You have got to understand who is actually interviewing you. HR's ultimate goal is protecting the company. They're looking at culture fit, long-term retention, and yes, company profit. But the hiring manager, they have a completely different agenda. They just want a technical asset who will fit into their specific team and, frankly, relieve their heavy workload. If you try to impress HR with pure technical jargon or bore a hiring manager with fluffy culture buzzwords, well, you lose the game.
So the biggest thing to remember in the HR round is avoiding the classic trap, the dreaded "tell me about yourself" question. The source warns fiercely against simply repeating your resume. I mean, they already have it right in front of them. Instead, HR uses this specific question to figure out what kind of human being you actually are. So share your personal hobbies, mention your background, and most importantly, explain your genuine passion for their company. They really just want to know if you're going to jump ship in 6 months or if you're a grounded, motivated individual.
Moving right along to level 2, mastering soft skill interviews. This is where adaptability and teamwork take center stage.
To survive this level, you absolutely need a framework. Enter the STAR method. This is literally the ultimate tool for cleanly expressing your past experiences. Whether they ask about a time you faced a difficult team situation or resolved a conflict, whatever you do, don't just ramble. You clearly define the situation, outline your task, explain the action you took, and then proudly state the result. It keeps your answers super focused, impactful, and it's exactly what the interviewer is trained to listen for.
Let's look at how they actually test you. Here's a rapid-fire situational question you might face. What would you do if your manager gave you an impossible deadline? The source points out that companies use hypothetical workplace scenarios just like this one to test your reaction. They are watching you closely to see if you respond with respect and problem-solving or if you immediately show frustration and resistance.
Now, contrast that intense deadline question with this surprisingly mundane scenario. What if you go to the pantry and there are no tea bags? Sounds like a total joke, right? But the source reveals that in high-stress corporate environments, minor annoyances can actually trigger massive meltdowns. Interviewers will literally ask questions like this to test your stress response to everyday minor annoyances. They want to know, are you going to lose your mind over a missing tea bag, or will you stay calm and adaptable?
Okay, brace yourselves for level 3, surviving the technical gauntlet. This is all about proving your skills. Please take this golden rule to heart. You cannot fake your way through this round. While you can strategically sugarcoat your personality for HR, technical managers, they will brutally drain your knowledge. The source notes that these managers know the work inside and out. They might even make you share your screen and code live right then and there. They need to absolutely guarantee that you are a genuine asset who can take on the workload, and definitely not a liability they're going to have to babysit. And after those grueling coding drills, the hiring manager shifts focus to ensure you have the ownership to manage projects independently. They're going to assess if you're a type A leader, someone who collaborates with the team on decisions, or a type B leader who directs from the top down. They'll probe into exactly how you prioritize workloads and stay self-motivated. Remember, their ultimate goal here is to see if you can successfully take the work off their plate.
Welcome to Level 4, winning the salary negotiation. This is the final boss fight.
An incredible insider secret revealed by our source is how HR uses some highly expensive software behind the scenes. They plug in your qualifications, your experience, your past salary, and boom, the software generates a budget range. Let's say 3 to 7 lakhs per annum. But the HR recruiter will deliberately start you at the very bottom, perhaps only offering you 4. They have this massive gap to play with, but they obviously want to secure you for the lowest possible cost to maximize the company's profit.
So the absolutely crucial point here is this: never ever accept the first offer. Know your worth and ask for it. The source really empowers candidates, especially those of you with high-demand skills like AI, where salaries are just skyrocketing right now, to negotiate fiercely. If you want a specific figure, state it. Sure, HR might push back, but it's a psychological game. You can even carefully leverage competing offers. If you hint that a competitor is offering you more, it's funny how HR will often suddenly find the budget to match it, purely to prevent a rival from getting a great asset.
But hey, negotiation isn't just about that base number. You must review the non-monetary checklist. A higher salary figure means absolutely nothing if it all gets eaten up by expensive rent in a new city, massive travel costs, and terrible company benefits. Remember, you are working for them, maybe even relocating for them. You need to ensure that at the end of the day, the complete package leaves you with actual savings and a genuinely good quality of life.
And once you finally sign that offer, please heed this massive warning. Keep your final salary an absolute secret from your coworkers. The source strongly warns that sharing salary figures breeds intense internal conflict. Imagine finding out the person doing the exact same job sitting right next to you makes 20% more. It completely destroys team morale. Furthermore, sharing your offer letter can actively violate strict HR confidentiality policies, which can lead to penalties or, worst-case scenario, even termination. So just keep it to yourself.
Finally, we arrive at Level 5, Essential Interview Prep Rules, the foundation before you even enter the gauntlet.
Okay, rule number 1. Do your research, but for the love of everything, don't memorize the entire history book. The source shares this hilarious anecdote of a candidate memorizing the exact year a company was founded back in 1978, the founders' names, the entire corporate history, and guess what? Not a single person asked about it. Over-preparing historical dates is only going to cause you burnout. Instead, understand their core goals via their website and LinkedIn, and just know enough to explain why you genuinely want to work there.
Rule number 2, confidence beats perfection every time. The reality is, you might face a question you have absolutely no idea how to answer. It happens. The source stresses that even if you completely blank, projecting confident energy will keep the interviewer engaged and on your side. Don't panic, don't deflate. Own the moment, show them how you would theoretically go about finding the answer, and just keep your composure.
Rule number 3 is incredibly practical. Prep your technical setup and your personal needs before the call even starts. Charge your laptop, have a glass of water ready, and use the restroom beforehand. Please, do not ask a busy HR recruiter if you can pause the interview for a bathroom break. They are on a very tight schedule, and disrupting the flow like that just signals that you're disorganized and unprepared for a professional environment. Well, we've covered the hidden agendas, the psychological traps, and the negotiation secrets that HR really hopes you never figure out. You've seen the whole roadmap, from that very first HR screening all the way to the final salary handshake. You are no longer just an applicant, you're an insider. So, I leave you with this final thought. You know their secrets now. Are you ready to play the game?